Alright, this is my 2021 elk hunting gear dump video. Elk season's right around the corner. I had all my gear out getting it ready anyway, so I figured I'd throw together a little video to show you guys kind of what I'm working with and the gear that I take out when I try to do a 5 to 10 day backpack hunt. So there's a lot of gear here, a lot to cover. I'm going to try to run through it fairly quickly, and I've been building this equipment list, I guess, for the last 4 to 5 years. So I feel like I kind of got it dialed in now, and there's a few things that I'm not real keen on still, but I'll try to point those products out and let you know maybe what I'm thinking about buying in the future. So with that being said, I'm going to jump right into, I guess, maybe my boots, just so I can get them off the table. These are crispy boots. They are the Guide GTX crispy boots. I've never got blisters out there. I've never had any problems with them, and I think I've had them for 3 years now. Put a lot of miles on them, not just out west, but whitetail hunting and turkey hunting and other things too. So these are the boots that I use. And then, since we're talking about boots, what I wear on my feet is these polypropylene sock liners. That's the liner I have. And then I typically wear, what I've worn in the past is Under Armour Heat Tech socks. I got some new ones here. These are the Under Armour Phenom. What's nice about the polypropylene sock liners is that they wick moisture away from your feet and transfer it into your outer sock. And then the Heat Tech gear socks and these Phenom socks, they claim that they also wick moisture away. They accelerate evaporation and prevent odor-causing bacteria. So with the polypropylene sock liners and the Under Armour Phenom or Heat Tech gear socks, I've never had blisters, never had a problem with my feet. So that's just kind of what I've stuck to. No reason for me to change it if it's working out fine. So that's my boots and my socks. What I have next to skin is just this Aerowool Tech Tee. It's merino wool. It's their lightest weight merino wool that First Light makes. Pretty much all my gear is First Light. I've tried some other brands. I like other brands, but First Light, I don't know. I've had good luck with it, and I like their stuff, and particularly I like everything that's made out of merino wool that they make. So I think this t-shirt is like 150 grams. That's their lightweight merino wool. So I run the t-shirt, and then I also have this crew neck long sleeve. This is also 150 grams. They're lightweight Aerowool or ultralight merino wool. So between this and the lightweight hoodie that they sell, I'm either wearing the t-shirt and one of these almost at all times. So what's nice about merino wool is that it's lightweight, it wicks moisture away. It's also odor resistant. This stuff just doesn't stink. After, I could wear this for a couple days in a row and it doesn't stink like other fabrics do. And then also what's nice is that it dries really quickly. So, if I am wearing anything that's merino wool, whether it's the t-shirt or these, and I'm hiking around, with my backpack on, I get real sweaty along my back, and honestly, these shirts are just drenched by the time I get done with a 1,000 to 2,000 foot climb or something like that, So I can take it off, throw this stuff in the creek, rinse it out, and it's dry. If it's sunny, it's dry within a matter of half hour at the most, I would say probably. So this is what I wear next to skin pretty much exclusively. This is probably the next layer that I would wear. It's the Sawtooth Hybrid Jacket, and this is 200. What is this? 320 grams this is. So this is, I think, more of their heavyweight merino wool. And what's nice about this jacket, the Sawtooth jacket, it's got extra insulation up front, and it's got that DWR water repellent, durable water repellent, along the shoulders in the front, and then the back is actually lighter weight merino wool. So specifically, you know, if you're wearing a backpack and you don't want extra insulation back here, this is where I tend to sweat the most, and I think most people probably do. So that's the Sawtooth hybrid jacket that I wear if it does get fairly cold out. Or if I'm going to bed at night and need an extra layer, this thing's fairly soft too. So that's kind of what I wear on my upper body for the most part. And this is mostly geared towards early or September and then early October for the most part. If it gets later, I might throw in a couple extra pieces of gear in here that I probably won't talk about. These are the merino wool First Light long john briefs, and I just like them. I've only got one pair of these. I'd like to get a few more, but they're just nicer than regular underwear because again they do everything that I said merino wool does. They wick moisture. They're odor resistant. You know, they dry fast. I can wash them quickly if I need to. So if you're looking for underwear other than what you typically have, I do recommend those, and I actually think First Light has some newer underwear that they just came out with too. The next layer I have on my bottoms would be, what are these? The Kiln zip-off long johns, I believe they're called. So these are actually brand new. I haven't even worn them yet. I tried them on once, and so they're long underwear that zip away. So basically you just zip the side down, each side down, and you know, you're probably going to wear these when you go to bed if it's cold out. You wake up in the morning, first thing you're going to do, start hiking, and real quickly you get hot, and for me, within a couple hundred yards, I already want to take off my long underwear. So instead of having to take my boots off and everything, I literally just have to pull down my pants, unzip these, fold them up, and throw them in my backpack. Simple as that. So I just think it'll be nice to have easily removable long john bottoms because I feel like I'll wear them more. So if I'm not wearing the long john bottoms, I typically, or even if I am, I typically pretty much just have this one pair of pants. Again, I'd like to get one more pair of these. These are the Obsidian merino pants. They're also pretty lightweight. And I don't know, they're just a nice pair of pants. They're lightweight, they're breathable, they got a lot of pockets for, you know, calls or chapstick or whatever you're carrying, I guess, that you need to fill them with. So those are the pants. I guess I don't have a lot to say about those, but they're really nice. One thing that these have done is started to rip near the crotch area. They're 5 years old now, so they've held up pretty good for the wear and tear that I've put them through, but they are starting to rip in the crotch area. So that's most of my lightweight gear. Sometimes, if the weather's going to be bad, I will bring these pants, and these are the Sitka Timberline pants. At the time, First Light didn't have a pant like these out. Now I think they have like the Catalyst Foundry pant, I believe they're called, which I probably would have went with just to stick with the same camo pattern and everything. But so these have, I gotta look at my notes here because I can't remember all this off the top of my head, but reinforced waterproof ripstop knees and butt. So that's what I really like about these pants. They're warm when the weather gets bad, and then they have these knee pads that are built in here too that you can take in or out. Like if you're gonna wash them, I take the knee pads out. which apparently these need to be washed. But they're just really nice, especially if there's some snow on the ground. Waterproof knees, waterproof butt. One other item that I'll talk about, clothing item, is, so this, I have these Seat to Summit waterproof bags. Some of them have a pull string, some of them have a roll top that you buckle. But this is the First Light Brooks Down sweater, I believe it's just called. Super lightweight, and it's a nice extra piece to have because it's, you know, it packs down pretty small, and it's just got a nice weight to warmth ratio. So it's going to keep you warmer, and it's not a lot of extra weight to carry. So I usually only take this out if I'm sitting in one spot glassing, or, you know, I'll even wear this to bed at night or use it as a pillow because it's pretty soft stuff. So that's what I got going on for most of my clothing. Other than that, I carry pretty much one stocking cap and then one ball cap, depending on the weather. So that's all my clothing. I did want to talk about these roll top and pull top Seat to Summit bags. Anything in my bag that I don't want getting wet in my backpack, I'll put in these bags. So my sleeping bag goes in one of these. Clothes that I don't want wet will go in one of these. And this year we're going to be hunting in Grizz Country, or the boundaries of Grizz Country, and just to be safe, I'm going to put all of my food up in a tree. It'll probably go in one of these bags. I might have to buy a bigger one, but it'll go in one of these bags. I'll roll the top, and then this year I bought this. This is from Lawson Equipment, Ultra Glide Bear Line, 100 feet. So I'll use this to elevate my food in a tree. Food, toothbrush, anything that might stink or attract a bear. Not a toothbrush, toothpaste, or probably both. So anything that I don't want around camp will go in one of these bags and up in a tree. So I guess moving on, I'll move on to my shelter. This is a Seek Outside 4-man Cimarron tent. So far I've used this on an elk hunt and a second season mule deer hunt in Colorado, where the temperatures got pretty low, like down in the 20s, maybe even the teens, I don't know. It was cold, and we got like a foot of snow. So, and we were 6 miles from camp. We were packing in further than some of the guides were bringing people in on horses. So we were out there, and this little tent, we had 3 guys in there, which is it was way too much for late season. This is like a 2-man tent with all of your gear and the stove in there. Without the stove, 3 guys probably would have fit no problem. But you just can't roll around as much, and you're leaning up against the sides of the tent. And when it's that cold or rainy, when you lean up against the side of this, you are going to get a little dampness from that. Your clothes might get damp or whatever. So this is the Cimarron Seek Outside Cimarron tent. It's really, what is it? 2 pounds 7 ounces, and it's 6 feet high in the center. So not a lot of weight. It is a floorless tent, so I guess I can touch on, this is my floor tarp, and it's just a Menards tarp, which this is one of the items that I'm not keen on. I might even replace this year because it's bulky. It works okay, but it rips easily. What I would like to get is a Dyneema composite fabric tarp. I think people sometimes still refer to it as Cuban fiber, but that has a really good weight to strength ratio, and I think I could use it as a floor tarp, and if I get a big enough one, a shelter. Because one thing you'll notice that I don't carry is rain gear. Probably wouldn't hurt to have it, but what I've used in the past is actually, it's a chill gorilla tarp, and I don't even think they make those anymore, but I'm still using it right now. And it's just like a 10 by 12 tarp, and I just pitch it, kind of TP style or whatever. And if it's a bad rain, I'll just sit under that and wait it out. Otherwise, that DWR durable water repellent on some of those First Light clothing it'll handle a short rain or whatnot. So if you get caught out in a little shower or something. So that's the tarp that I currently have. Not real proud of that, but that's what I got. Those Dyneema composite fabric tarps are fairly expensive, so you just, like I said, I've been building this gear for 4 to 5 years now, and each year I try to add something new, a little bit better, a little bit nicer equipment, and that's going to make me more comfortable out there. But so as far as the shelter then, this is the Seek Outside titanium stove. It looks like it's the SXL, and I'm not really sure, it's the next step up from the large, but I'm not really sure the dimensions off the top of my head. I'll try to post those in the video along with any other information. But so this is 2.5 pounds, and I can take it out here if you haven't seen one of these. Actually, I'm not going to take it out. I was going to show you guys the stove. I'll show you the stovepipe. The stovepipe is 2 ounces per foot, and you got to do a burn in and then roll it up. So when you roll this thing back out, it's going to roll. You're going to spread it out the long way, and then you're going to roll it up the long way, and that's your stovepipe right here. I'll try to show you guys some pictures in the video so you can see what I'm talking about. But that's my shelter system, and in September I might not even bring that stove, but it is nice. You never know what kind of weather you're going to get mid-September. It could be 20 degrees, it could be 78 degrees, it just depends. So it's nice to have that option. These are just the aluminum stakes that I use for the shelter. I don't even know what brand these are, but some of them are getting kind of bent here, but they still do the job for now. Oh, and the last piece for my shelter system, there's 2 pieces, but I want to still talk about that sleeping bag. This is my sleep pad. It's just extreme performance gear from Cabela's. I honestly don't know what, other than extreme performance gear, I don't know what the model of this is, but I got it on sale at Cabela's a year or 2 ago, and it's held up just fine. This is my sleeping bag. Again, extreme performance gear, bought it from Cabela's. It's a 30-degree sleeping bag, 32 inches by 86 inches, 2 pounds, 4 ounces. It's the mummy style, which took me a little while to get used to being a little more restricted, but it's worth cutting the size of my sleeping bag to me. And now I don't mind it at all. I sleep just fine. Alright, I'm just going to keep going down the table here, I guess. This is my bugle tube from Rocky Mountain Hunting Calls. I believe it's the Bully Bull Extreme bugle tube. I really like this so far. I've had that since, this will be my 5th year with that. I've had that every year. And then I like the Rocky Mountain Hunting Call reeds too. And what I do, they came in this little clear case. And for the first couple of years I was using this with just a couple cotton balls in there, just so they're not rattling against each other and making noise when they're in my pocket. I do have a reed lanyard that holds 3 or 4 reeds, but I couldn't find it before I did this video, so this is what I had been using. I do have that lanyard. I would probably recommend carrying 2 different types of things, because one year I did lose that lanyard and I had to climb 500 feet in elevation to go back and look for it. and I did find it, but if you end up losing it, it's nice not to lose all of your reeds. Set it down somewhere and forget about it. So that's what I got for my calls. I don't really carry anything else. I've used some other things, but pretty much just the mouth reeds right now and the bugle tube. I'm not going to talk about this a lot. It's just my first aid kit. Got it from Cabela's. And this is a quick clot sponge, just in case I get cut real bad or something out there. This is something I can put over it, and it'll clog a big wound if I get one. You guys can look into your own first aid kits and what you want to take. Honestly, it's something that I probably should look into more. It's just something that, I don't know, it gets overlooked pretty easily, but it could be very, very important. I haven't needed it yet, but I guess that's a blessing. So this is my platypus water bag. Holds 3 liters, and I honestly wouldn't go with anything smaller. I like to have a lot of water, especially early season if it's hot. I don't mind carrying the extra weight. If it's too much weight, I'll just start drinking it. So that's my water bag. I do carry an Nalgene bottle to fill up extra water if I need to, or I haven't done this yet, but if it gets cold at night, I can boil water in my jet boil and fill it up, shove this in my sleeping bag if it gets real cold. And, you know, I've heard that's a trick to keep you warmer. Haven't tried it yet, haven't needed to, especially if you got the stove. But it's nice to have for extra water. This is my jet boil. I think it's the Mini Mo jet boil. I wanted to get the one that was less deep in case I was eating out of it. I mean, I don't know what this thing holds for water. Probably close to 3 or 4 cups in here. That's plenty for most of my dehydrated meals I'm making. That's one of the reasons that I do have a longer spoon. Not necessarily for eating out of here, but my freeze-dried meals, those bags, you know, are typically like this. I'll show you what I got for food a little bit later. It was just too much to put on the table, but you want a long spoon because if you're dipping into those freeze-dried meals, a little spoon, you're getting your hands dirty and it just becomes a mess. So a long spoon is actually pretty nice to have. And then this is the fuel canister, just a little jet boil fuel canister. You get 24 boils out of one of these things. So this one, I know they make a bigger size, but this one is 3.53 ounce size. 24 boils is more than I'm going to need on a 7 to 10 day hunt. I don't really drink coffee in the morning or anything like that, so I'm just heating up my meals at night. So I guess, you know, plan accordingly. It tells you how many boils you get out of one of these things. I just like the smaller ones because it's less weight, and I don't need the bigger one. These are my antimicrobial game bags. I like these because I don't have a lot of experience with other game bags, but these are actually kind of moist. So you get to your elk, you put the quarters in a bag or whatever you're going to do, and it kind of starts to cool them just because of the moisture of the bag. And then, you know, it says here the antimicrobial stuff is supposed to reduce bacteria by 8 times the amount of a regular bag. All natural preservatives, reduce bacterial growth, repel egg-laying insects. If your meat's going to be sitting there for a day or two until you can get it out of there, it's just nice to have. I don't know, it's a peace of mind for me to have something like this. Safer in warm weather. So that's what I use, and it's a fair amount to carry. I don't know what the ounces is on this. Maybe I can pop it in on the video, but I really liked these when I used them the last time. This stuff is what I usually like to have in the top or an easily accessible portion of my bag, my backpack. So I have the First Light, or excuse me, the Kuiu 5200 backpack. I won't talk about this a lot. This could be probably a separate video on its own, but it's the Kuiu 5200 backpack that I use. So this is like the top baggie that you can add if you want to, otherwise it does have a top baggie, but like I said, this is stuff that's easily accessible. So this is just a little Vortex lens cleaning kit. If I'm shooting videos, which I've been trying to do now, this is nice for my optics, but it's also nice for my camera gear. So just in this little pouch, it's got a microfiber cloth, which microfiber is just nice to have because it doesn't scratch your lenses. What else is in here? Just a little brush to clean the lens with. Anti-fog lens cleaner, and then just some other little cloths to clean your lens as well. So just a nice little kit to have for your optics. Earplugs if I'm going to be shooting a rifle. These would probably be in my pocket if I'm rifle hunting. I just use a little quart-sized plastic bag to hold my tag and a couple zip ties. The zip ties are just to attach the tag to the antlers if I need to. Let's see here. This is some hygiene stuff, just deodorant. These are sent away wash towels. I'm not showering if I'm out there for 5 to 7 days, so a little wash towel that's damp is about the best I get, and it's really refreshing at night. You'll wish you had those if you didn't. Toothpaste, toothbrush. This isn't what I take. I'll have a smaller size one. I couldn't find it right now, but just as a reminder, this is that I do carry a toothbrush and toothpaste. I stuck it in there. Toilet paper. This is just a little sample baggie. Chapstick. This is something that I didn't think I would need, but my first year out west, my lips were just dry. Living in Wisconsin, I don't know. I never applied chapstick around here, but being out west, I don't know if it's because I'm not used to it or what, but especially if there's fires out there too, I just get dry lips. So this is a must for me. This is the knife that I carry. It's an outdoor edge knife with replaceable blades. I bought this kind of more for whitetail hunting, but I carry it elk hunting too. So it's got the replaceable blades, like I said, and then this one's got the gut hook, more for whitetail hunting, but that's the knife I carry. I think there's all kinds of different knife companies out there. If I was going to look into a new one to cut down on the weight a little bit, I'd probably go with the goat knife, just because I've heard good things about them, I guess. I do carry a saw, but not a butchering saw, just a folding saw to cut firewood and if I need to clear a shooting lane or something. But I don't carry a saw for butchering. You can just pop that ball joint, cut through it where the leg bone connects to the pelvis or whatever that area down there. Your knife will do the job. This is just fire starting stuff. There's some waterproof matches in here. I carry 2 different Bic lighters just in case one goes bad. Some cotton balls, they'll help start a fire faster if I need them. Some regular matches and some fire starting tinder is what's in here. So that's for fire starting. This is just a little set of Allen wrenches if I need to adjust something on my bow or my rifle scope. I have it. This probably stays at spike camp more than it would be packed with me on a daily basis. And then this is something I haven't had to use yet, but it's just NextCare waterproof tape from 3M. I guess I bought it because it says it stays on when bathing and swimming. Cushioned protection helps prevent blisters, sticks even after sweating. So I haven't ever got blisters, but if I do or need some tape for a reason similar to that, I have this. This I don't usually carry on a daily basis either, but I might bring it up to my spike camp. So, moving on. This is a little Seat to Summit pillow, inflatable pillow. I don't use this. I thought I would throw it in the video just for something if you guys like to have a pillow. I just sleep on my clothes. I think it's more comfortable than this pillow anyway. It's just kind of noisy and it's not real soft. So that's just kind of for reference. This is a brand new item. This is the Zoleo global satellite communicator. And so basically I didn't want to buy a GPS because I already have Onyx on my phone, and this thing will let me, for a monthly subscription I believe, it'll let me send text messages through my phone from anywhere instead of having to type it on like a GPS, like a Garmin Mini or something. It's really hard to find the buttons and get through there to type everything. It'll just be way faster for me to send a text message on my phone. Then I don't have to carry a phone and a GPS. So I'm kind of excited to use this. The battery lasts for 200 hours. GPS location, it's got a SOS button. It'll give you the weather, 100% global and two-way messaging. So I'm kind of excited to try that. This is my Goal Zero Flip 36 battery pack. I'll have to put some specs up on the screen for this because I forget what they are. It'll charge your phone so many times or different items, but usually if I have one or two of these with me, that's enough to charge my phone. One's usually enough to charge my phone for 5 to 7 days or 7 to 10 days or whatever you're out there for. But this year I'll have camera gear and everything as well, so I'm gonna have to think about that before this fall. But this thing works pretty slick. It's kind of heavy, but yeah, I'll try to put the specs up on it because I don't know exactly how heavy it is. And this is just the dock. I don't carry this. This is just to plug it into the wall outlet. Alright, the next item here is my headlamps. I have two headlamps. One of them I just like to leave at the truck and have a backup in case I need it. This is probably my favorite headlamp. It's Cabela brand. This one I gotta look at my notes too. Cabela's by Princeton Tech Alaskan Guide XP green headlamp. It's not solely green light, but it has the green light option, which honestly I got this more for whitetail hunting. When I'm walking into my tree stand, I just like the green light. It doesn't seem to spook animals as much, so it's nice to have that green light for elk hunting as well. But this thing runs on 550 lumens for 70 hours on max bright, 40 lumens for 159 hours on the green LED light. And both of these headlamps run on 4 AA batteries. Says lithium or alkaline. I carry an extra set of batteries, usually about 8 of them. Just in case. This usually lasts me a whole trip, but just in case. And I don't use alkaline. I use lithium only. I use lithium in my trail cameras, and I use lithium in all my equipment. I just think they're a much better battery. They hold up better in cold weather, and I've never had a lithium battery explode on me like I have alkaline batteries. So lithium batteries in all my stuff. This is just a little gun slicker to put over my rifle. I bought this from Go Hunt. Liked it so far. Just used it on one trip as of now. So next, I'll talk about, sometimes I'll carry a flashlight too. This is a Streamlight ProTac light, and it's pretty bright. So I'll carry this with me. It's just kind of nice to have an extra light for blood trailing or something if your headlamp's getting low. You don't want to switch out the batteries. Sometimes I carry it, sometimes I don't. Before I get into the optics, there's just a few more things here. This is a little extra rangefinder battery because usually I try to swap out my battery before I go on a trip or before the hunting season starts each year if I know it's fairly low. But I always like to have an extra rangefinder battery just in case. This is my rangefinder tether. I'll talk about this in a minute actually because I want to show you guys how I use it. Sometimes I'll carry some extra Vaseline too. If my pack starts squeaking or something, it's nice to have Vaseline to rub on some of those squeaky areas and it silences it right up. So also if I need it for chapstick, but this is more something I have back at camp. Either spike camp or even at base camp if we have a base camp set up. Okay, so now getting into the optics. This is my rangefinder, Vortex rangefinder. It's the Ranger 1000. I've had this for a few years now, and honestly, I recommend Vortex. I don't recommend this Ranger 1000. I don't even know if they still sell this one. It's a few years old, but I've had troubles with this one trying to range an animal. If there's grass in front of it, it cost me an antelope one year. It was just picking up the grass in front of the antelope. I couldn't get an accurate range on the actual antelope. And another thing is, like when I'm turkey hunting, if I'm trying to range through a window of the blind, for whatever reason, it won't pick up through that window, an open window. I have to almost stick my head out the blind to get a range on something. So I know my dad has a newer version of Vortex rangefinder, and that's probably the next. I'll probably buy whatever their next top of the line rangefinder is, just because if you're gonna buy a rangefinder, you might as well get something that's up to date. This does have angle compensation, and it calculates true ballistic range, so it does the job. The only thing I don't like is for archery hunting, it picks up too much other stuff. So this is my rangefinder, and what I've always got that right here on my chest. So these are my Vortex binoculars. They're the Viper 10x42s, Viper HD 10x42s. I guess I don't really need to take them out of the case, but what I will say, this is a new Vortex case too. We'll see how I like it. In the past, I've run just like a vinyl harness from Sportsman's Warehouse. So this is a new vinyl harness for me. I'll have to start shooting with it a little bit more too, just to get a feel for it. But what I wanted to show you is that this little Nikon range-finding tether deal, I'll just strap it like right up here. Well, I'm not going to get it on there perfect, but then my rangefinder, this little tether string, I literally just grab my rangefinder and it's from here to here. Very minimal movement. It kind of sucks hanging here when I'm hiking and whatnot, but I've found ways to kind of keep it tucked in and not moving too much. While I got this on, I do carry a little wind checker. I got one on each side right now. A couple of new pieces of equipment that we have this year. I say we because I usually go on a lot of these hunts with my dad, and some of the more expensive stuff we've gone in together on, like the Cimarron tent and this rangefinder and some of the more bigger ticket items. If it's something that you're going to use as a team, like, I don't know if I recommend doing it with a friend, but you know, if you're hunting with your dad, in my case, or a brother, somebody that you know you're going to hunt with a lot, go in on some of the stuff, and it cuts the cost significantly. So what I have here, what is this? The Viper HD. It's the 20x60x85 rangefinder. And this is the, I don't know, Ciru. I think it's called the Ciru tripod. Um, these are both new items this year, and to be honest, a spotting scope is not something that, if you're just getting into this, it's not something you have to have. For 4 years, I've been hunting without a spotting scope. For 4 years though, I've been archery hunting, and I would have been happy with any bull, to be honest. So I can see elk from a far enough distance away with my binoculars, and if I can see they had decent headgear, I was going after them. It didn't matter. This year I will have a rifle tag for Wyoming. It's a general season tag, so I will probably bow hunt for a week, bow hunt / scout for a week, and then, you know, if I'm comfortable, I'll try to put on a stock with my bow. Otherwise, it might just be more of a scouting trip that first half of the trip. Obviously, I'll put a play on an animal if I feel like I got a good chance. But the reason that I wanted to have a spotting scope this year, well, there's two reasons. I'll probably be a little bit more picky with the rifle, so I want to make sure if it's an animal that's far off in the distance, I can get a good look at it and see if it's something that I want to spend half a day trying to pursue. The other reason, I'm going to try to be filming some of this fall, so I got a phone scope to try to capture some film, because the lens that I have on my camera, it's not a long distance lens. That's another item for another day, but this will at least allow me to get some video from longer distances, and if it's a longer shot, I'll be able to at least hopefully get a kill shot through the phone scope and the spotting scope. But just playing with it briefly, I really like the spotting scope, and this is a pretty nice tripod. I think the tripod was $300 alone, but it's got it's the Ciru, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Ciru tripod with the VA5 head on it. So the VA5 head is this piece right here, and it's just super fluent, and it'll be nice for spotting, but it'll also be nice for filming. It's not jerky and shaky, and it just looks like a really well built tripod. So I'll try to put some specs of that on the computer too, because I don't know all that stuff off the top of my head, and it's brand new. So other than that, really, from what I can think of, I think we've gone over most of it. Sometimes I'll carry toe warmers or hand warmers. Not really necessarily. I'll throw in a hand warmer. In the past, I've thrown in a hand warmer into my bag or two, but they're really not necessary, I wouldn't say. These toe warmers I'm going to bring this year because I'm going to be filming, and if it does get cold, I actually haven't tried it, but I heard about this trick from Brian Call with Gritty. I've seen that he uses toe warmers if it's cold to put on the bottom of his batteries of his cameras so they don't die quickly. So I'll have these with me. Other than that, I think we covered most of it. I will touch briefly on my rifle and my bow that I'll be bringing out to Wyoming. But other than that, that's pretty much my gear dump. Okay, I almost forgot about my food items. So these are basically my dinners that I take. Now I'm just going to kind of go over, some of this is, again, new stuff that I haven't tried. Some of it I've tried before. And I'll tell you what that stuff is and what I really like. I guess starting with Peak Refuel, these Bison Ranch mashed potatoes. They're one of my favorite, and there's enough in there to feed 2 guys almost, if I remember right. It was very filling. It was just a really good meal. Potatoes, bison, whatever they put in it, ranch obviously. It tastes as good as it sounds. This was the Peak Refuel elk ragu pasta. Still really good. Wasn't, to me, as good as the Bison Ranch potatoes. It was decent. And then This is a peak refuel that I haven't tried yet. It's sweet pork and rice. So I picked that one up this year. These are all Heather's Choice. I have not tried any of these, but they sounded really good, and I've heard good reviews about them. So I got 2 of the mom spaghetti with beef and marinara sauce. I got 4 of the smoked salmon chowder. This is supposed to be the best one they make, it sounds like. So I got 4 of those. I love fish chowder. So salmon in the backcountry just sounded awesome. And then this one is grass-fed bison chili. Can't read upside down. So that's my Heather's Choice stuff. Like I said, I haven't tried any of these, but I'm excited to try those because I've heard good things. This is Stowaway Gourmet. It's a wild boar bacon bean stew. Some of this stuff. So I picked up this. Actually, I was watching Go Hunt, their reviews on some of these dehydrated backcountry meals, and this was one of their favorites. And so was the salmon chowder. They had a review on Heather's Choice too, and I've heard other guys that really like Heather's Choice, so I figured I'm going to give it a try. You get sick of the same thing after a while. I mean, it's all pretty good backcountry food, all this stuff, but any one flavor for too long, it wears you out. So it makes you want to look forward to dinner when you're done with the hunt. So Stowaway Gourmet, that's a new brand that I'm trying this year. These are all Mountain House. I wore myself out of Mountain House those first few years because I didn't know what other stuff was on the market, and I think some of this stuff is newer in the last couple of years, I believe. So if not, I didn't know about it beforehand. So I'm excited to try some of it. This is beef stroganoff. That's probably one of my favorites. Rice and chicken, and chili mac with beef. So those are my Mountain House brands, or flavors, I guess. So that's pretty much all I have for dinners for this trip. I shouldn't say all I have because that's plenty right there. And then I picked up 1 apple pie breakfast. I don't eat much for breakfast. So other than these meals, I put together a gallon Ziploc baggie for the day for my lunch and breakfast. Breakfast isn't much. What I do like is these Green Belly meal to goes. Because there's only so much stuff that's non-perishable that you can take for an extended period of time. So these are one of the nicer things that I don't have to worry about going bad. This is probably my favorite, the mango cashew coconut, and it's just a bar. I don't know how to explain it, I guess. High daily nutrition, protein, calories, fiber, fats, carbohydrates, and sodium. Package includes 2 meal bars. I don't know, they're delicious. So I got 5 of those, and then like I said, I put together those gallon Ziploc baggies with other meals. I'm not going to go into all that right now. That could be another video itself too, I suppose. I got a few leftover things that I can talk about. These are Cliff Energy Blocks. I don't know, when I'm out there, you eat a lot of like peanuts and bars and I don't know, just different stuff like that. So it's nice to have something that's chewy and, I don't know, a sweeter tropical flavor, I guess you could say, or fruity. That's what I'm looking for, fruity. So it's just nice to have some fruity flavors. Hopefully that doesn't make me sound too femmy, but they're good. This is a Taos Bake, just a little bit different bar. I really like these, so I'll probably load up on a few more of these Taos Bakes. This is a Goo Vanilla Bean Energy Gel. These are pretty good. Same with the Cliff Energy Shots. They're very similar. If you like coffee in the morning, but you don't want to make coffee like me, this Vanilla Bean Goo is kind of a nice energy boost in the morning, I guess. Got some of these Honey Stinger waffles. these are okay. I'm not real big on these. They're a nice snack, I guess. Those are just a few of the items. I'm not going to get into all my other food items, so I guess that's that on the food. Okay, I just wanted to touch real briefly on my rifle and my bow setup. Like I said, in Wyoming this year, I'll have the option to use my bow for a week, and then it'll go from, I think the archery season ends on a Saturday, Sunday morning, you can rifle hunt. So I'll probably be using both of these this fall, at least on that hunt. This is the 30 Nosler. My rifle here is the 30 Nosler M48 Western rifle. It's got a fluted barrel, and I topped it with a Vortex 5x25x50 scope with first focal plane reticle, and then MOA turrets here. Like I said, I'm not a big gun nut that knows everything about guns, so that's my setup. I'm shooting Nosler 210 grain bullets. So that's my rifle setup without going too in detail, I guess. And then this is my archery setup. So this is a Matthews Tri-X bow. I've had this for a couple years now. I forget which year it came out exactly, but it's the Matthews Tri-X optimizer kingpin sight on it, and it's got the 3-pin sight that's adjustable. So my first one's set up for 20 yards, middle one's 30, bottom one's 40, and then as soon as I start playing with my dial here, I can go all the way up to, I don't know, here 90, 100 yards if I have to, but then only my top pin. Once I start playing with this, my top pin is the only one that'll match whatever yardage I dial it to. So optimizer kingpin sight on it, quality archery design, drop away rest, and I don't have my quiver on there right now. I don't know, max out at 70 pounds, 28.5 inch draw length is what I'm shooting. So I guess really that's it. The only other thing I'll mention is my arrows for a broadhead. Last year I killed an elk in Idaho where they don't allow expandable broadheads. I know that's kind of a controversial subject, so I'm still kind of still trying to figure out what I want to use this fall. But last year when I killed that elk, I used a Montec G5 Striker fixed blade broadhead, and it worked awesome. The elk went, I don't know, 150 yards and piled up. I heard him pile up, so that was nice. I don't know if I went with an expandable blade, because in Wyoming it sounds like I can have expandable broadhead. I'd probably use like the Rage Tri-X or something like that. I use Rage when I'm whitetail hunting, and I love the blood trails that they leave. And if you're off by a little bit, I mean, those expandable blades, chances are you're going to hit an artery or something. So that's what I have for my weapon setup. And I think that'll probably wrap it up. Unless I forgot something, I might throw it in the video here at the end or something. But thanks for watching, and hopefully this fall, I'll have a elk video put together for you guys. Hopefully I'll have a whitetail video put together if everything goes as planned. But you guys know how that goes. And then I posted a turkey hunt from the spring if you guys are interested in watching that. Next year I'm hoping to have a lot more videos, so kind of already in my head planning for tags that I want to draw for next year. But there is a possibility too that I might have a Wisconsin wolf hunt video. That's pretty up in the air. I don't know, application deadline's in like a day, but I'm not even sure when that drawing is, but that would be around November 6th. So those are probably, unless something else pops up, those are probably the 3 videos that I would be able to drop this fall. and next year, hoping to have some extra stuff. But anyways, thanks for watching, and good luck this fall.